Ladies and gentlemen, now in today's video, we're going to be breaking down fully how to grind out 4-star basic champions in Arena as a beginner without the use of an infinite streak, because maybe you've looked into Arena and everybody at the end game is just like, you've got to use all these like decked out champions and just consistently win, and once you get to a certain point, it's going to get much easier. But you're a beginner, man. Maybe you've got a roster, you got a few ranked up champions like I have, but the majority of your like 3- and 4-star roster just aren't leveled up, man. They're just like rank 1 3-star champions that you don't really have the resources to put into. So I'm going to show you how to take, a very, very simple roster and turn it into some very, very big points, and some of the methods that I've been using. Now, before we get into that, I think it's important to break down the brackets in Marvel Contest of Champions and help you understand exactly what's going on. So for the first 30 days of any new account, you're in something known as the beginner bracket. So you're only competing in Arena against people that have been playing for 30 days. So if you can, take advantage of this, it's very, very easy to get 4-star basic champions. And then after 30 days to 60 days, you're on the intermediate bracket. So you're playing against people that are in that similar region, and it gets a little bit tougher, but it's still, comparatively a little bit easier than the veteran bracket. And the veteran bracket is 60 days till the start of the game. So it's 60 days to like 4.5 years. So cutoffs go up a fair bit. The 4-star basic usually isn't still too bad, but it can be a lot more than it is in the intermediate and also basic bracket there. But 4-star features are just absolutely crazy in the veteran bracket in comparison to the first 60 days of playing the game. So it's something important to bear in mind there. The first 60 days of any new account, you've got a much easier time grinding champions in Arena. And the way to identify what bracket you're in, there's always going to be the featured arena, and the difference between the basic and also featured arena. The featured one, you can only bring in 4- and 5-star champions, and the way to tell which bracket you're in, if you go to the rank rewards, if there are only 50 people that can get the top champion, you're in the beginner bracket. If it's 200, it's the intermediate bracket, and if it's 800, then it is the veteran bracket. So that's the way to differentiate between the brackets that you're in at the moment. And yeah, the featured arena is always going to be the same 4-star as the 3-star arena as well, and kind of the standalone 4-star arena is the basic one. So if we have a look at the rank rewards for that, you can see the top 10% of people instead of the top 50 in this arena can all get their hands on the 4-star version of the champion there. So it does open it up to a fair amount of people that can obtain that champion, depending on the month, depending on, participation in this arena, because it's all percentage based, anywhere to the best of my knowledge between about like 700 to 2,000 people if it's a really, really hype month. And again, we've got more and more people coming in ever so recently with Avengers Endgame as well. So yeah, depending on participation in this arena, man, quite a few people can get their hands on that top 10% champion. So it's not too bad. Now, with any arena, you always want to know what kind of points you're looking to get, and a really, really good channel to subscribe to is a channel on YouTube called Crafty Grinding. I'll give a link to this channel in the description of this video, but he does kind of predictions for every single bracket every single week when there are brand new arenas. So this is an absolutely phenomenal channel for all information. This dude spends a lot of time grinding arena himself and also analyzing and breaking down a lot of the data. So Crafty Grinding, if you're looking to grind a lot of arena, I could not recommend this channel more. It's a really, really valuable resource. So here you can see the beginner bracket kind of estimations for the 3-star feature, the 4-star basic, and the 4-star feature. So often in the first 30 days of a brand new account, the 4-star basic, you're looking to grind at least 500,000, so about 500,000 there. And going into the intermediate bracket for the 4-star basic, it's about 950k. Now, in order to be safe in the beginner one, you need to, ideally aim for about 600k, which is what I've been doing the last couple of rounds, and the intermediate bracket, like a little bit over 1 million there. So those are kind of good scores to aim for, but that's it. So now you know about the brackets, you know what to aim for, you know where to get that up-to-date information. Let's get on how to start the streak, and it's fairly straightforward for the most part, and the idea behind it is you want to throw in all of your lower roster 3-star champions. So we want to throw in all the rank 1s here to start building up the streak, get to the 3x multiplier, get a little bit of difficulty on it, and then start throwing in, our partially leveled up champions here. and then wait for a reset, and then do another round with our top champions, and then reset the streak, and then start again. So it's kind of a cycle of like rinsing or repeating that, but today I'm going to go through the entire streak, play it all, and show you guys across 2 rounds, and also the end of the day when we actually get the champion as well, actually just how it's done, to give you guys a practical example, and hopefully, you know, we can cover a few cool tips as we go along today. But let's start at the bottom of our roster. So my one's slightly uneven at the moment, and there are 2 champions I do not have to play here, so I think I'm not going to play War Machine and Unstoppable Colossus. So let's get Electra in, let's also get Guillotine in as well, and usually you want to bring characters. Don't really worry about the synergies too often unless there's a really good one, but like 3 different classes just so that you can kind of match the matchups quite well. And yeah, you just want to avoid kind of class disadvantage most of the time. I kind of look out for, like as a beginner, it's a little bit hard to tell which champions match up well. But there are certain characters like robots that are bleed immune, so hopefully you have a bit of a handle on, you know, what your champions do. But this matchup here is just absolutely perfect because we can bleed Black Panther, he's got no immunity to that, and Guillotine is just a bit of a quick finisher, man. She works really well. But on a new free-to-play account, man, you often do lack the resources to really invest in your roster and get a real chunk to it. Right, so the next one we've got Hawkeye versus Ultron here. So Ultron, a very straightforward matchup to deal with. So let's go for the dodge on the special one here. Another 5 combo as well. So a channel also that I want to shout out that is just so incredibly valuable is Dork Lessons. Dork Lessons has some great tutorials if you're looking to learn how to parry, how to evade, how to bait out special attacks, and really when you're doing this method in Arena, the opponent doesn't often like to use special attacks, so baiting out special attacks maybe isn't something that you need to learn, but if you can at least get parrying down, it just becomes very easy to, you know, just parry, just get another 5 combo in, just keep on going and going. So this first round, man, it's not really going to give you too much. It's just under 3,000 points there, but every single round you win is going to get that multiplier up and up, and you want to save your top champions again until you've got it at the 3 times multiplier. But also, the more difficulty you can put on that multiplier, the more points you're going to get from your top champions. So it becomes a nice little cycle to do, and again, the better you are at playing, the more you can push it up and up. But anyway, let's go. We've got Nightcrawler versus Ant-Man here, so I played a little bit rubbish at the start. One of the little tricks as well, man, it just seems to work when building up, because the AI is very weird. It's sometimes just dashing back and hitting in can work quite nicely. Just dash back and then throw a medium, but sometimes you can get wrecked and it can backfire in your face a little bit. Baiting out heavy attacks as well, so that's Ant-Man's heavy there. And then we throw down a special 2, cut this lad down to size, and unfortunately we did get a little bit ruined there, man. It took a few too many hits, but especially when you're building up your streak, there's not really a lot to worry about damage-wise, and even if the opponents do use their special 3, in a lot of scenarios, it's not the worst, unless it has like a stun or a lot of damage associated with it, like Archangel and Havoc, certainly some champions to watch out for. But there are just scenarios where, again, a lot of the time building up your streak in Arena, man, they're just not going to throw their special attacks, and it's going to be very annoying. Anyway, let's go for the next matchup. We got Void versus a bit of Miss Marvel here. Let's get into this one. And also on this account, I don't have Cruelty and Precision yet, and those masteries are so good to get, man. So good to get early on. So we'd be dealing a fair bit more damage if we did have access to those. But hopefully that's going to take Miss Marvel down there, so not too bad at all. And that's the end of the second round. So now the multiplier goes up to 1.5, and then after that it's 2, and then it's 2.5, and then it's 3. So the points do start to you know, ramp up fairly quickly once you do get into this. Let's go for these 3 champions next. We got Iron Man, Karnak, and Doctor Strange. Just because I know these champions are all fairly like lower tier, mid tier, so they're good to get out of the way early on. And if you do have kind of a grasp on you know, how good certain champions are, or you've got access to the tier list. If you type into YouTube, Seatin's tier list, best champions ranked 2019, and then whatever month it is, so May 2019, you can always get access to my thoughts on what I believe are some of the best characters, and that's sometimes a way that to, you know, build up your streak, so that as fights are getting a little bit more difficult, you're having a bit more firepower to bring into those matchups as well. But there are some champions that are certainly better than others in Arena, and not every single champion does shine in Arena. So it's you know, it's knowledge that you'll develop over doing a few rounds, a bit of practice, mate, because that is really what all this game is about, man. It's just about a relentless amount of practice. Right, so we've got Karnak, Rocket Raccoon, and just learning all the special attacks, the animations, the timings. But it's all part of the journey, man, and when you can pull off a good combo in MCOC, it really is a pretty good time. Let's see if we can go for another one, and there we go, mate. Karnak actually works quite well in the lower bracket arenas, especially when you don't have cruelty, just because of his increased crit chance there. So a very peculiar one, but he does work quite nicely. Right, let's smash out that next series there, and then we've got Blade, we got Green Goblin, and then we got Emma Frost, and this should pan out. Just kind of counting my champions here. So we've got 3 more teams to use after this. Again, man, I've only had this free-to-play account for just over a week now, so the roster isn't very developed, but a good way to get a lot of champions is just push as much as you can in terms of the story content, especially with the objectives now. There's a lot of 3-star crystals, and especially in Act 3 as well, you can get some 4-star champions as well. So there's a lot of that good stuff, man, and once you can get a bit of a basic roster established, doing stuff like the arena and just pushing as much as you can, you know, even if you can't grind out the 4-star basic champion and get those like 500,000 points, you can still get a lot of shards via the milestones, you know, and those can help you get the crystals to unlock more champions, so it all kind of just builds up, man. Right, so we're going to hold off on using that special 2 just for another combo here, just to make sure we can end this Iron Man. And there we go. Another little tactic there, man, is hold on to your special attacks just to make sure you can finish it if you don't need to immediately use them. Because the most lethal time for opponents, especially once you ramp up the streak, is when they have full power. But again, it's very difficult until you get very, very deep into the wins for an opponent to completely one-shot you from a special 3, unless they have like an exceptionally powerful special 3. And you are going to find that out the hard way in some cases. Or if they have a stun associated with, man, and certain champions, again, like Aegon Proxima as well, ones to look out for that have a very, very long stun. Thor, Storm as well has a pretty long stun, Blade does. So yeah, there are definitely a few champions that can dick you over with those mighty special 3s there. Right, so we don't have any more champions apart from our partially leveled ones. So we've got Ronin, Venom, and Gwenpool here. So 3 champions that can really get a lot of work done. So this one, I'm going to go for the matchup with the most points here. I'm going to alter around those matchups a little bit. I think we'll swap those 2. And it should be pretty good. But again, swapping around those matchups does come a little bit with experience, but often it's just best to follow like the class advantage and just play about with those if you are not already too familiar with the class advantages. But this is all stuff that, you know, will come to you with a lot better practice there. Right, let's dodge out of the way of Ronin there. And then let's fire off the special 2. And there we go, easy game, easy life. Venom has some absolutely phenomenal damage output, man. Really sorts out the arena matchups very nicely. And then we got Gwenpool, who's just slice and dice, get a load of bleeds, have a great time. Got to be a little bit careful with Rhino, sometimes because of his charge. This one seems quite happy to use his special attacks, though. Let's wait one more combo, see what he's going to do now. Right, let's dodge that. Get straight back in. Easy game, easy life. And let's go for the final fight here. So we got Ronin versus Electro. Ronin's a little bit of a weird one to play, man, because you need to dash back a bit. Yeah, that certainly wasn't the best showcase in the world there, boys. But taking down this Electro matchup relatively neatly here. Right, there we go. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. And again, you've got a lot of leeway, especially building up these streaks for a few mistakes here and there. But anyway, let's jump into the next matchup, and then we've got our 3-star Captain America, Angela, and also Sentinel as well. So let's queue all of these in. And let's go against the Ghost matchup. Magic is definitely one of the champions that you ideally want to avoid where possible in Arena, because she can be a little bit of an annoyance, man. Magic, Iron Man Infinity War, Chords, Thing, you know, in all good time, you're going to learn the characters and matchups that ideally you want to dodge where possible. And it'd be great if you had full information on, you know, exactly what you're trying to avoid, but you only have the top character, so sometimes you just have to make a bit of an informed decision based off that. Alright, and this Captain America that we're fighting, he's a little bit more chunky, man. He's already used his special 2 though, so I'm not really too sure what the play is here. I think I want to push him a little bit further down. There we go. Seems very, very happy to use special attacks this one, so I could use my special 3 here. I feel like I'm kind of saving it for an execution though, just in case stuff gets rough. Yeah, I probably should have fired off special 2 earlier. Sometimes I just like to be a little bit safe and hold on to the special, but again, this isn't really an advised tactic. That should be able to do it. There we go, straight in the bin, man. Straight in the bin, not too bad at all. But that one did take a fair few hits, man. A fair few hits. The difficulty certainly does start to kick in around that 3 times multiplier. So if you can, you know, watch a load of Dork Lessons videos, study that combat, going to be having a much better time. But this AI is fantastic, man. It's playing into pretty much everything today. It's the worst thing in Arena is just when they don't throw off their special attacks. Alright, so let's dodge that. Go back in. Special 2 on Sentinel here. And I think if we do a 5 combo special 1, that might be enough to finish it off. Yeah, there we go. 4. Okay. These matchups are, you know, they're getting a little bit more heated. Not too bad. This final one should be the easiest of them all, because we've the class advantage here, plus Angela is just great for fighting Ghost really. And Ghost really doesn't present too many problems in terms of her matchup. But there we go, just a very, very easy kill on that one. And let's move on. So you can see already we've just got, doing that little run, just over 40,000 points. And then if we clock for the top run as well, I think building up the streak and using, you know, a couple of rounds of our top champions, it's been a pretty alright game, but this is definitely not what anybody wants to see, man. Oh, triple Iron Man Infinity War. This is not a great time, boys, so you probably want to go for the most straightforward one on that. And who are the best matchups here? Oh gosh, I think Electro is my best option versus Iron Man. Guillotine versus Magic, because maybe we can get a little bit of heel reversal with her Limber as well. But Iron Man Infinity War is just never a champion anybody wants to see here, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have anything to reduce the chance of Limbo triggering, so while Magic's in a Limbo, you don't want to attack into her, just because any damage will be healed back, unless you've got heal reversal, like we're about to have here. So this is going to kill her. Yeah, cool. Very nice, very nice. I mean, the damage alone killed her, but she would have taken even more damage. She's alive for a second longer. So Guillotine, she can work quite well for Magics in the arena build-up. Quake, what's the rule with Quake? You don't want to let Quake charge her heavy attacks. That's one of the biggest things when fighting Quake, really. Got to be on the lookout there, lads. And Quake does have a pretty lethal Special 3, which will leave you stunned, so ideally you want to avoid it. Special 2's the easiest to deal with on Quake. So she's playing ball like that, it's a pretty good time. This AI is majestic, man. It's throwing so many special attacks today, which I can tell you is a bit of a rare occasion. But Iron Man Infinity War is the worst. He is just the absolute worst champion to fight. So, let's see, man. Also, I don't have 4 points in parry and also stun duration, which are very, very helpful as well. Let's see if we can bait out a special 2 here. If not, we might have to go balls to the walls and just nuke in. Oh, okay. Yeah, I should have waited to see if we could sort it out, but didn't work out too well, man. I was a little bit too impatient there. Right, so just wait for him to like flick up at the end, and you can go back in. It's a cool old tip as well. And I probably should have used that to finish off Iron Man, I reckon. I don't know, we might be able to do it here. Yeah, I don't think that's going to quite work, is it? Right, let's dodge that. Come on, Mr. Ass Pain, let's get it done. Ah, right, there we go, boys. Iron Man Infinity War. Again, if you are a newer player, he's definitely gonna haunt your nightmares a little bit. Luckily, that one was good at throwing his special attacks, and we didn't have to wait like a minute to bait him out. But you can see there, just building up the streak initially. We have already got like just I think about 64,000 points. So now that I've got the first round out of the way, I want to send help to all of my alliance members, so when they smash it, it's going to reduce the cooldown by a couple of minutes, and then I also want to set a timer for 1 hour and 50 minutes. So when I come back, then all the cooldowns of my champions are going to be refreshed. We're going to be back, you know, just in a few seconds for you guys in order to do that, and then we're going to grind arena kind of top down until we lose. So yeah, we're going to send out all of the help, and then we're going to be right back 1 hour 50 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're going to continue this video. Alright, so a couple of hours have passed now, and we're back for round 2. Now, if we wanted to play it a little bit risky, we could start off with like the mid of our roster and then kind of work our way up, but I want to go for the safe play today, so we're going to start with the top of our roster and kind of play down. That way we ensure that we are going to get some really good points from all of our top champions at the 3x multiplier. But again, the kind of deeper you go, the more difficulty you're going to face. And in all fairness, man, there are a fair few challenges ahead. We've not got some great matchups here. Mephisto and Domino, definitely champions that ideally you want to avoid. So we're going to go for the Scarlet Witch one, and hopefully there aren't some horrible opponents hidden. We got Mordo. Mordo's a bit of a pain there, so we're going to use Electro to fight him. And I think the other two matchups are going to be pretty sufficient there. But yeah, Mordo and Loki can be a little bit annoying. Not the absolute worst champions, but still a little bit more of a pain than your average champion. Just because of Loki's power gain. He very quickly fuels up to the special 1, but if you can get him to the special 2 and bait that out, that can be a pretty straightforward time. But are we going to have that wonderful AI that we had just before the first half, or are we going to have an AI that does not want to throw their specials at all? And it kind of looks like it's going to be the second one. Right, I'll try maybe 1 or 2 more times, see if we can get special 2. It's Loki, he's just not playing ball, is he, lads? Right, we'll try and bait our heavy attack. So he slams his staff down there. And Old Man Logan, dude, it's so typical. Guys, this is proper arena behavior right here, of the opponent not using any special, and then they get to their special 3 and they instantly throw it. We're just baiting out the heavy attack there, and a very tactful play here. So Old Man Logan snaps. Oh no, because Loki's got his buff still. He's stolen all my buffs. Oh mate, I totally forgot about that interaction. But he's dead anyway, lads. He's dead anyway. So it worked out alright, man. It worked out alright in the end. Although a bit of a noob play there, but. You know, we all make mistakes from time to time, ladies and gentlemen, but Mordo is a little bit annoying because he cannot be stunned, so we can't rely on parry here. We've got to try and find intervals where we can attack in, baiting out special attacks or baiting out heavy attacks as well. It's fairly safe when he's got his power gain active, so that's that glowing buff to use a heavy attack more often than not. He's probably going to throw a special 3 here. And let's bait that one out, and then we can finish him off. Nice. I probably should have thrown a special 2 right after the other one, but we got him down in the end, man. It's alright. It's alright. Definitely need a few imperfect plays here and there. Right, let's check out 5 combo here. So the Scarlet Witch matchup going pretty well so far. The annoying thing is when you get a lot of poisons on you when fighting an Awakened Scarlet Witch, that can be a little bit of a pain. So bringing a poison immune champion, if you have one, against her can be always a little bit beneficial. We're going to go for the gamble that the special 2 is going to crit and kill her. I shouldn't have gone for that gamble, man, because I don't have the crit mastery. Right, let's go. Punish into the block here. Sorted, boys, sorted. So again, a little bit more sketchy after this, man, especially from a new account perspective. So it's always, at least I found it good to play these matchups a little bit safer and go from the top of my roster downward after the second round there. So then we can go in with Angela, Sentinel, and also Captain America. I think Green Goblin's a little bit of a pain. Doctor Strange really isn't too much of a problem, but this person's only level 27 as well, so they probably don't have too many masteries. I know my Angela can deal with that. The Iron Man Infinity War, it's a little bit annoying there, but we should be good with Sentinel. He's an alright matchup. Person has certainly upgraded some very annoying champions here to fight, because Void is a little bit of a pain in the ass as well. So you need to have a combo every 10 hits. You like purify one of his debuffs, so you need to play fairly aggressively against Void in order to not take so much damage. But there we go, dispelled it at 20 hits there, so that's pretty decent. We're going to be able to bait a special attack here. I'm going to assume that this one's probably going to be a bit more annoying like the last one was, and let's just go in for some risky plays. It seems like we've gotten to that point where the AI just doesn't really want to play ball. Let's go for the special 2. If we get the stun, it's all over, and unfortunately not. Ah, mate. Very, very typical. Right, we should be able to survive this one, though. Okay, yeah, we're going to be good for this, man. We're going to be good for this. Oh, a little bit dusted there, lads. A little bit dusted. Right, there we go. Void's down. Oh, gosh, it's just doing these matchups, mate, is definitely a little bit more annoying. Let's go into this Infinity War Iron Man. We're definitely punching up a little bit here, and it's a good thing to hit into a blocking opponent with Sentinel, because then you can gain some analysis charges, but you only want to do a maximum of 4 hits into the block. And the analysis charges just make us hit a little bit harder as well. Oh no, it's got so much armor up. We want to save up to a special to try and get an incinerate on this lad. Oh no, he auto-blocked. I wasn't paying close enough attention to the armor there, unfortunately. Okay, right. Does this Iron Man want to throw any special attacks? Does he? Come on, mate. I don't think this Iron Man's going to play ball here today, lads. I'll give him some more chances, actually. Huh. This guy just isn't throwing a special attack, man. Unless you get into the special 3, where he is definitely instantly going to throw it now. Okay, yeah, not too bad. Well, the Incinerate certainly sorted that man out there, so that turned out alright, lads. That turned out alright, but it's just a showcase of how annoying the artificial intelligence the opponent can be in Arena sometimes. Let's go for a bit of Green Goblin here. Right, I should have thrown a full combo, I reckon, for that. I was trying to get him like just below the special 3. 4 hits into the block is always a pretty safe bet as well, just to get a little bit more block damage, man, because you want to make the most of every like vantage and opening that you have there. especially when you're trying to burn somebody down that's got a special 3. But you can see we're just over 700,000 points, so in 9 rounds here, even with a very, very underdeveloped roster, we still have got over 100,000 points. So in order to get the champion or the 4-star basic for, if you're in my position, you need to do this about 5 times overall, this entire process, which isn't too bad, man. Split over the course of 3 days. It doesn't really take up much time, especially because you aren't grinding, you don't have a lot of champions in the roster as well. But we're going to go a little bit above that. Usually I like to do the top 3 teams, see if I can bag a win, and then just kind of reset the streak and let it start all over again in a couple of hours' time. And again, you've got 72 hours, 3 full days to try and get in like 4 or 5 of those rounds. And if you can do that in the beginner bracket, you're sorted. Veteran bracket, hopefully you've had the opportunity to beef up your roster a little bit more, and then that gives you access to even more champions to score even more points with, man. And just playing all this arena is definitely going to get you used to fighting certain champions. So it's a valuable learning experience as well, even though sometimes characters can be super annoying. With this Juggernaut, I would prefer this Juggernaut to not use any specials just because of his unstoppable after. But I guess it's better than ruining us with a special 3. Right, so we'll get the armor break after this on Gwenpool, which really allows her damage to soar up a little bit. Trying to bait out a heavy attack here if I can. Didn't quite work, and he's unstoppable, so he can't attack into him. The golden wall of Juggernaut. As soon as you see that unstoppable, mate, you've just got to block or evade. Just get away from him. Not going to be able to push him back at all, unless you've got Captain America Infinity War or somebody that can bypass the unstoppable, some sort of cool mechanic. Right, Ronin's he's a little bit weird and annoying to play in arena sometimes. Right, let's just get some of these buffs up. Just getting the additional crit damage here. Right, so we got the crit chance now, which is definitely gonna spice up our damage a little bit more. Right, I'm just backing off here so we can do a 5 combo. Special 2, wait for that last hit to land. And there we go, perfect little execution on the guillotine there. And let's go for the final fight. And then we've got Venom versus Hood here. So Hood's a really easy matchup. The rule with Hood, if you see this guy about, is you don't want to get into a special 2. So if you can throw out the specials, you want to try and evade the special 1 where possible, but it looks like this dude isn't playing ball, man, so we're going to get him to the special 2, which could backfire if he uses it fairly quickly. I'd rather have him use the special 3 than special 2, because special 2, he goes invisible for a period of time, and that's just a little bit annoying to deal with. So yeah, you ideally want to bait out those special ones where you can, but you can see in that scenario we couldn't really do much there. And then for the final round after this, you can, practice and try and win with some of the 3-star rank 1 champions. And if you're a really, really good player, it definitely is possible at this point. But for myself, like, usually at this point, I'm like, I'm fairly happy with this run. I'm just going to throw in the towel now. So I'll bring in, like, 1 champion that I maybe want to win with. Let's say, like, Emma Frost. You can bring in really, like, anybody here. And then just, like, throw the complete rest of it. And then, boom, you've reset your streak. So if we have a look at, like, the first matchup, we can see that the rating overall is like 2,176. So the Modoc's going to be really tricky, but there's probably going to be 1 or 2 very easy opponents. So now we can just we can actually like win both of those like really, really easily if we wanted to. So that's a potential option, but this is definitely the part of the streak where I'd look at ideally resetting. So yeah, I don't really need the points here, so I think we'll just win this one with Emma Frost, and then go ahead to reset the streak, because again the cutoff's going to be about 500k for this champion, so we don't really need to score any more points, man. We can just be done with this one after we're finished with it. So yeah, this is the point, man. In the second round, I'm just for the sake of like showing how I'd wrap it up again. I could win both of these matchups if I wanted to, but if you're a beginner, this is probably the point that you want to like quit off, or again, if you want the practice, man, if you want to go into these matchups just to practice, that is entirely possible as well. But yeah, that's the point where you just drop your streak, and then it's just kind of a rinse and repeat of that cycle. You can see we've got 121k there. So like doing that four or five times gets you the 4-star basic champion with a very, very underdeveloped roster. And again, you can play it a little bit different to how I played it. This is just kind of an example of how I would approach this if I was a brand new player as well. But anyway, now that we've got our final score, 720k is beyond safe in the beginner bracket, man. It's just such a incredibly good score, and it just doesn't really feel like much effort because you're not like grinding with too many champions for too long. So yeah, I actually like quite enjoy the experience of doing beginner arenas from a fresh new account, man. Like, the beginner bracket is an absolute blessing. But anyway, let's fast forward now about 4 hours in time, because when the arena ends, it takes about 2 hours for the champions to get delivered. So yeah, let's fast forward about 4 hours to the results. Fast forward 5 hours later, and we did it, ladies and gentlemen. We managed to snag that top 10% with 720k there, with a really underdeveloped roster, and that's why I love the beginner bracket, man. It is truly an absolute blessing there. So yeah, we got the champion in the mail, boys, all sorted. Feels pretty good, man. This is the second 4-star basic. I actually got guillotine when my roster was even lesser developed as well. So I'm looking to, you know, build up some mid-tier champions for Act 5 on the free-to-play account, and the champion and guillotine are just perfect additions to the roster. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this bit of a different video today, but I thought, you know, this is probably going to be really useful for a few people that are starting the game, or people that want to go back and make another account and really rinse out that beginner bracket as well. So if you did enjoy it, please do smash that like button. I really appreciate that. Aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.